Hey!
You fucking point at me in my house, you son of a bitch.
Yes.
Yep. Welcome to the MD cast with Soldier Boy.
You, the viewers,
God,
you're the guest
Superman
today.
that hoe.
We're good. You are that hoe.
What do you think he meant by that? Because the only thing I can think of when he's Superman that hoe is he's Superman puncher.
I was thinking just like the classic Superman like flying pose, like one arm forward, like planking style. But now I'm just imagining just draped over a person while doggy style. And you're just like planking on their ass.
I don't know what he meant, but I mean, it's a decent rhyme scheme. It sounds good.
I think maybe because everyone loves Superman, so he's gonna steal your girl like he's Superman.
Oh, I was just thinking I'm the best of the best. So even for yo ho, I'm Superman.
Nah.
Yeah, I make bootleg Nintendo games better than anybody. The Soldier System.
Soldier
That
System 2021.
Hilarious.
Whatever became of that?
Well, actually, it's flourishing, and by the way, today's episode is sponsored by the Soldier System.
Yep, it all comes to light. Do you like video games and Soldier Boy and Supermaning that hoe? Well, now you can do it virtually.
Me personally, I know I love cranking that.
Yep, the Soldier Boys are my favorite. Buy it, I guess. We're not endorsed by that. Don't buy it.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. We might actually get in trouble for saying that.
Maybe.
As long as
Soldier Boy's gonna sue us.
We say at the end we are actually not endorsed by them. We're good.
Yeah, we are not endorsed in any way by Soldier Boy. He doesn't know who we are.
His console, didn't it look like one of the old...
It was like a cheap knockoff console.
Yeah.
It was basically a plug and play game, like you know the old Scooby Doo and Batman ones.
Yeah, the Scooby Doo.
Didn't he also have? Didn't he also come out with a Game Boy type device as well?
Soldier Boy.
I don't know if you're serious or not.
I don't either.
that does sound like something you would call it.
Well, if he didn't call it, it's a missed opportunity.
Yeah.
Honestly. I genuinely do forget, but I mean, it's an obvious joke, call it the Soldier Boy, so I can't tell if it's other people oh, you should call it the Soldier Boy, or if he's oh, this is Soldier Boy handheld console. But either way.
Why not Soldier Boy Girl?
Because Superman that hoe. But, yeah.
Welcome. Longest, stupidest intro.
Oh yeah, it's the MD cast. Eric, Tyler, Kyle. You can guess who's who. I'm not gonna correct you.
I'm Eric.
I'm Kyle.
And I'm Tyler.
Remember last time we did that?
Yes, I know. I figured that's why it took so long to figure that part out.
I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know I screwed Eric over like that.
Absolutely. Have you boys had any dreams?
Mostly really weird supercut nightmares, personally.
Oh.
I'll imagine that I'm working at both of the jobs that I've had at the same time. But no, other than that, not really.
My sleep for the last month has been fucked. I'll go to bed at my usual time, but my body lately has been you know what? You're waking up at 7 o'clock.
Ugh.
For absolutely no fucking reason. But even then, the sleep is always in and out, and it fuses my dreams with reality. I'm lucid dreaming or something.
Are you a beholder?
I don't know. Maybe. But it sucks so much. Because, I'll fucking wake up, I think I'm in my room, but I don't know if I'm in my room or in my dream. So I'll just turn over, go back to sleep, and suddenly I'm back in my room.
Do you ever feel like you need to start a fight club of some kind?
Sometimes.
Okay. Just wondering. You ever feel like you need to blow up some buildings?
No. No.
Okay.
Nothing I can legally say on the air.
But it sounds like have you had a
Yeah.
dream, Kyle?
I had some dreams. I wrote them down. One of them I actually had a bit ago, and I have it written down, and I forgot about it. And then I remembered a bit of it when I read what I had written down. And I'd like to tell you that one right now.
First off,
Yeah.
am I in it?
No.
Oh.
Okay, we don't care.
I just know whenever these two have a dream and I'm in it, it's always a treat.
It is always fucking weird when you're in the dreams. But, alright. I want to just read this because it's strange, but then I will fill in some of the best part at the end. It's war. I'm in the jungle. Also, there's magic. There is always magic. I make it to a tower and have some orders to get from info, and all I have is my magic and no weapon.
I'm
There's
sorry.
always magic.
All I'm thinking about is your dreams. It's just you stole all the magic in Eric.
I stole all the magic.
You took all my magic!
There is always magic in the world. But here's the best part. I never mention magic again. So I'm very glad I made note of that. The tower is hard to climb, and my computer falls off it and is almost broken.
You're hiking with a full desktop.
It was a laptop, I remember this much. And an assassin attacks.
Oh no.
She looks like an infiltrator or like a rust stalker from my Mechanicus boys.
Did you try and kiss her?
Yeah, I kissed her on a big robot face. They don't have lips.
Not on the face.
Hey.
I defeat her, and I try to take her weapon arm, because their arms are the weapons, and I just kind of I just kind of flub it up, and I take off her head. So now I've defeated the foe. I've defeated the assassin.
Did you use magic?
No.
Wow.
There is no more magic. But
Squandered it!
But she basically deceives me into trying to get some info off the computer. She steals my files, and then the headless body just gets up and kills me. But we have perfected cloning technology, so I respawn, and I'm in a plane, and I have to airdrop in to get my vengeance on my nemesis. This is where I remembered this as I read this. There is a hard cut to a tent in the jungle, and it's like a refugee tent. There's like wounded people, refugees. It focuses on this story, like I've been following it for an entire movie, of like a young girl and her father escaping the war, and they make it out to this tent with all the refugees, and they're like, finally, we will survive the war, maybe find a better country, and live our lives. And then my nemesis comes in and kills everyone in the tent.
What the fuck?
And then the rest of the dream is just I fucking airdrop in, and I find her for our final showdown, and we do battle, and I win.
Nice.
But that was my dream about war, and I had a dream about a different kind of war.
Uh-oh.
And this one is more recent. It starts with a good line. I am the Lord of Anger and Battle. I am basically a slightly more chill Scarbrand, because I was like a weird big demon man.
I see.
Yeah. I was in some kind of conflict with the Lord of, like, Tranquility. He was some fucking dude who sometimes was blue.
Well, I mean, that makes sense. You are the Lord of Anger on the battlefield, and he is like your polar opposite. It all makes sense.
And we've each got, like, our armies or whatever. I saw his army people because they're just, like, people in uniform with, like, berets. I never saw my army. I just presumed they were crazy, and maybe you were in it. I don't know.
You're a loyal foot soldier.
But at one point, I guess I, like, die or something, because I go to the place where the dead people go, and I'm just wandering around, and it's like, it's like a spirit journey where I gotta like discover. I gotta like discover my inner tranquility or something, and I'm walking around and I see one of the Lord of Tranquility dudes. One of his soldiers has also died and is now here, and I go up to a big door with like a puzzle on it, and this person's clearly looking at it like trying to figure it out, and I'm like, I don't understand this, and I just look down at the person menacingly. I then proceed to just pick up the person and make them solve all the puzzles on my spirit quest. Eventually, I do find the Lord of Tranquility. He's like, you must learn to be tranquil. You must learn to be chill and cool. And I'm just like, no, I refuse. Yeah.
You just had a fucking, like, God of War game level dream.
Yeah. Oh, the best part is, I just decided, rather than, like, reach tranquility and move on, I just decided to come back to life as a normal guy. Oh, shit! Eric is in this dream! I forgot about this part.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
I went home, I had a shower, I'm just a normal guy now, and I walk outside, and there's a picnic table, and sitting at it is Eric, and he's got a fat fucking dart. He just starts smoking it. So I go and sit down. I'm like, hey, yo, pass that boof. That's where the dream ends.
So you became tranquil. You did it.
It only took another lifetime.
It only took becoming a normal guy and then smoking up.
You had to honk on the boof.
Yep. So yeah, dreams have been getting wild.
I had conversation pieces, but I don't remember what they are.
Conversation station. We're pulling in. Do you see something, Tyler? What do you see with your elf eyes?
I'm just trying to remember a dream I had.
I see.
But it was really, really in and out, because like I said, my sleeping hasn't been so good.
I wrote down shaken baby syndrome here. I don't know what...
Do you want to talk about shaken baby?
I don't know, do you guys?
Is that like an actual syndrome?
Oh yeah, it's a real thing. Because babies, their brains...
Like, I know you're not meant to fucking shake them.
Yeah, because
it's
you can kill them.
Yeah, because they're screaming at night, and then the parents that are, like, really tired, they go over and they're like, shut up! Shut up!
Yeah, and they shake the baby and it kills them because their brain is not, like, tethered to their skull and it rattles around and go bing, 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 bing. And then they get a high score and die.
I'm just telling you now. Either of you have kids. I hear you done that. I'm killing you and the kid.
Thanks, I guess.
Well, there's a hole in your statement there. The baby's already dead because I shook it to death, Tyler.
So out of fucking nowhere. If you choose a family life, I'm killing you. Like, are you fucking Frankenstein's monster?
Oh, you know what that reminds me of?
Oh no.
Guess a movie I watched recently.
What'd you
Frankenstein's monster?
No.
Oh.
It started with I, Frankenstein.
Oh.
Which is, it's a decent movie. But as I was watching, I was like, you know who's a better Frankenstein than this Frankenstein? The Frankenstein from Hellsing. Like the Hugh Jackman movie. I always really loved that Frankenstein. He seemed like a cool dude.
Did you know that Frankenstein is unbelievably different between his film appearances, like the Frankenstein you know, and the actual way he was written in the book?
What do you mean?
Frankenstein in the book was unnaturally handsome.
I think I remember reading that, actually.
In fact, it basically says that the monster is, like, the perfect form of a person. Like, super tall, strong, toned muscles. The only problem is that he had scary eyes. And that is why Frankenstein decided to throw him away. But, like...
That's kind of your fault, though. Get him better eyes.
He was also, like, super fast to learn. He, like, educated himself, and he could talk fluently.
Well, because the whole thing, like, I'm not sure if he has, like, two brains, but his brain is, like, fucking a hyper brain. Like, it ain't just a regular one. Also,
another fun fact about Frankenstein. Frankenstein is, like, a ×4 Inception on letters.
What do you mean?
The story, the original Frankenstein story, it was a woman reading a note from her brother when he was recounting the story of Dr. Frankenstein, who also recounted another story partway through.
Oh, so I see what you mean by Inception.
It was just a series of stories because apparently the original Frankenstein book, it was a sea captain who finds Dr. Frankenstein and he tells him the story, and basically like Frankenstein escapes, he's trying to hunt him down, and Frankenstein finds him and says, "I want you to build me a wife," because that was in the original Frankenstein, the whole wife thing. He basically said like, "I'm kind of alone in this world because you left me alone.
Yeah.
So I want you to build me a wife. By the way, if you don't, I'll kill your family." And so he goes to build the wife, and then like at the last second, he's just like, "I don't want to do this," and destroys the wife. And Frankenstein's like, "Why did you do that?"
Now your family's dead.
Yeah, because fun fact, Frankenstein married his half sister, Victor Frankenstein married his half sister.
Based.
And then it's like his parents died shortly before that, and then it's like comments like at the wedding, he saw the monster on like the tree line just watching. So yeah, that's the original Frankenstein. So it's very interesting to see how they just changed it up.
Yeah.
I knew very little about the original Frankenstein book, but from what I've heard, the Junji Ito version actually follows pretty closely, except the monster is not handsome.
Is there a Junji Ito Frankenstein?
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Ah, didn't know that.
I can show it to you after the show.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's a Junji Ito-ism. Mm-hmm. Did I ever mention that I watched Donnie Darko on the podcast?
I don't think you did.
Donnie Darko is a very strange movie about a guy who he starts sleepwalking, and basically a funny rabbit man tells him like exactly when the world will end, which is in like a month from when he heard it. And it's just a series of fucking weird events going on.
Yeah, I recall you telling us about it, but not on the podcast. Yeah. I went on the fucking like rabbit hole.
Yeah, because it's got a lot of big name actors.
Yeah, and there's like fucking 3-4 sequels.
Yeah, it's such a weird movie because it's like it's this weird emo time travel movie, but where the time travel is not apparent until the end, and it
just one of those crazy things that they pull out of nowhere kind of things.
Not really. It kind of is at first, but like partway through, he's talking. Alright, spoilers for Donnie Darko, unless you guys want to watch it.
I don't care to.
Okay.
I don't care.
Halfway through, because he's a high school guy, he asks a teacher about like the theory of time travel, and the teacher like tells him a little bit about it, like a wormhole theory, basically. And he's like, "Oh yeah, we used to have a teacher here who wrote about it. And she wrote this book, quit, and no one ever heard from her again." And he finds out it's like, oh, this woman that he knows, who basically every single day stands in the street, walks to the mail, checks it, and then walks out to the street. And that's never elaborated on. Also, there is like an entire 5-minute conversation about Smurf fucking in the movie.
Is it good? Is it hot?
No, because a lot of it was them questioning, like, most of the Smurfs are male, so they must be gay, and they have big Smurf orgies. And someone's like, no, obviously they all go on, like, Smurfette. That's why Papa Smurf created her. And then fucking the main character, Donnie, he turns around like, first of all, Smurfette was made by Gargamel to infiltrate the Smurf village!
Did I show you that Instagram thing that I found where it was, I think it was somebody from, one of the Netherlands, one of those countries, Sweden or around there. They were talking about the origin of Smurfs, and
yes,
and the Smurfs are blue to mock dead children that die in the snow, and their hats are white because it's snow.
Yeah.
And they live in mushrooms that grow on a corpse.
Yeah.
How do you explain Papa Smurf then?
He was just
wearing
the first
red?
one.
Yeah.
Blood, I don't know.
I know there's like I saw like one of those like stupid theories that the Smurfs are actually just the KKK.
Oh, that's a dumb theory.
Why? They're funny blue people.
All of them wear in the KKK. Most members wear white, but
Yeah.
the headmaster wear red. So
Is that so? The Grand Wizards wear red?
yeah, the Grand Wizard wears red.
I see. I mean,
Yeah.
would you live as a Smurf?
Yeah, totally.
You'd live a Smurf life?
I don't know what, like, you know how they all have those, like, their specific personalities? I don't know what my personality would be if I got stuck with a...
You'd be Stoner Smurf.
Oh, yeah, I could totally do that. Just live in a mushroom.
You just take bits off of it and chew them.
Yeah, snork that herb all day.
Welcome to my magic mushroom, bro.
I don't think I could live as a Smurf.
You don't think you could live as a Smurf?
Like, it sounds like a lot of fun, but I feel like the first Gilgamesh attack, or whatever his name,
Gargamel.
Gargamel,
Which
yeah.
is a bitchin' name, by the way.
Yeah, Gargamel is a very good name.
I feel like if you did try to kidnap us, I would be the one that fucking took him out. I ain't fucking dealing with this guy's shenanigans again.
Okay,
And
but
his
like,
big
isn't that a
fat
good
cat.
thing? Because now the Smurfs are safe. You saved the Smurf village. You're just a Smurf hero.
But that's like the whole thing about the Smurfs. Like the Gargamel has to be there.
What do you mean?
Otherwise, you don't get the Smurf story.
Life would be too good. It would simply
Yeah.
be too
Yeah,
good.
but now
There would
you'd be
no
living
Smurfs.
a really good Smurf life.
I feel like I ruined the Smurf story.
Are you? You're living. So you're living in the Smurf story as media. Like you're not. It's not that just Smurf is real and you are now living the Smurf life. You are part of Smurfs, the media franchise.
Well, how would you feel if you're just watching the old Smurf cartoon?
Smurfs.
Like this one episode, like, oh yeah, Gilgamel, where Gargamel attacks, and the next episode he's just not there. Like all the Smurfs are doing the fucking
The Smurf dance.
I think it would, because like I see where Tyler. No, I see where I'm coming from because you said that you would kill Gargamel.
Yeah.
But I would rather him be around.
You think so?
Well, like they always win. Everything just turns out hunky dory. He doesn't actually like succeed because the Smurfs band together and they win. And I feel like it would be that little bit of spice where it's like, oh, I got kidnapped. And then it's like, oh, I'm saved. It's fine.
Yeah, that's my understanding. But like, I'd be like, okay, this guy's done it one too many times. I'm breaking the mold here. I'm pissed off now.
I think they would exile you for that. You might be a lone Smurf. You might become the new villain. You're like, look at all those.
villain arc.
Ooh,
Yeah.
evil Smurf arc. Oh no.
Be a lot better than those fucking little gray ones they had in Smurf 2.
I was about to make a comment, but it would come across very bad. All right. Now here's a quick survey. Have any of you actually watched anything Smurfs?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have.
Okay, you have?
I used to watch
Okay.
it as a kid, like the original show, and I
Yeah.
saw the first live-action movie also when I was younger.
Okay, I never watched the live action one, and my exposure to it was like very young, so I don't really remember that much about it. And I'm sitting here like I could partway through the conversation it's like Smurfs doing Smurf things and like Gargamel doing funny things. I don't remember what Smurf things were. I don't know what they did with their time.
They just chilled.
Yeah, they just kind of existed and
They
like built
foraged,
on
They
their
just
community.
hang out. They're
Yeah,
little
they
forest
foraged.
dudes.
They did. Yeah, they cooked. They did what their personalities were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Like
the
the
vain
nerd
ones, they
would
would
read
look at
books.
themselves in mirrors.
So there was like a chef. Yeah, there's the one guy who's just in love with himself.
Do they make their own books?
That's a good question. Who the fuck is like making all the books and
The nerd.
Like he's making his own books and
Probably.
reading them?
I would think so.
You think
Unless there's
who's distributing
Well,
these books?
Well, because the whole thing about the Smurfs, they all have their own personality. So maybe there is just a writer Smurf or like a
Oh,
bookmaker
yeah.
Smurf.
Like there's Steven Smurf. Smurfin' King.
I feel like if you really got down to it, like, and you get all of these Smurfs that are specifically good at these things and they feel these emotions, I feel like you would have a very micro city of, like, you have this one guy that's in charge of sewage, and he's always grumpy because he has to deal with the shit.
Yeah.
I feel like you would get this micro city of like...
That's pretty much, yeah, they were just like a well-formed town, city type deal. Like, they all had their own jobs, and, like, their personalities helped with said job.
Technically, that would mean that if Gargamel were to take the long game, and he were to just take out one Smurf every time, just like no nonsense, he could wipe out the Smurf village just through attrition, because if the one person who has the one talent is gone, no one else can match his talent.
I feel like after the maybe I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. After like the third or fourth one, the Smurfs will realize, hey, something's up, and then probably go attack him.
You really could, like.
But they need Killer Smurf. What if he takes out Killer Smurf?
I feel like they realize what they're doing, and just go do it themselves. Like, just go fucking take them out.
I see. The best part about this conversation is that Tyler is waving a gun the whole time.
Yeah!
Like, I'd kill him! I'd take him out!
I get a sense of power.
He really could have just gone wholesale, though, and just, like, burned the area around them down.
Well, because he needs to preserve them because he wanted to eat them.
Guys!
And then you cook them.
This is a kid's show, goddamn. We ain't
It's
gonna
a kid's
apply
show born off the back.
guerrilla tactics to this.
It's a kid's show born off the back of an Icelandic fucking horror myth.
You know, foreign myth about things is hilarious in just how evil it all is.
Yeah, like all the Disney movies, like their origins.
All of those, like any Christmas myth.
Yeah.
I told you the guys I don't know how to pronounce a name like Tomte. Did I tell you the story of him after the Christmas session?
No.
I don't think so. Or you probably did, but tell the listeners.
During the I did a funny Christmas episode for my D&D campaign. They had a big old Frosty the Snowman snow golem. They had Rudy the reindeer, and they had a little red cap, a little funny gnome man named Tomte, and that's a real myth. I think it might be Scandinavian, but I'm not sure. Basically, around wintertime, there's a funny little gnome guy, and if you please him, which he's really pleased by leaving out a bowl of porridge with a single slice of butter on top, if you please him with that, he will help you around the house, do chores, care for your animals. If you slight him in any way, such as not including the butter, he will murderize all of your livestock and shit. And there's one tale of him that's like, he went to a home and sees the bowl of porridge out, but it doesn't have the butter on it. He gets so angry and eats it anyway, and then he goes and murders their, like, best cow. Just fucking kills it. And then he looks at the bowl again, and the butter was on the bottom rather than the top, so he felt really sad, so he stole the neighbor's cow and gave it to the person.
What a little shitter.
I love dumb, mischievous myths like that. But it's also really fucked up, because it's like, oh yeah, your sheep gets bludgeoned in the night.
I guess it kind of reminds me, like, the memes I see of, like, European cryptics compared to, like, Canadian cryptics. Like, the European ones, like, will be, like, little fairies and, like, little mushrooms on trees or stuff like that, like, little sweet ones. And ours are just fucking Wendigo and Skinwalker.
Yeah, but it the best part is those fairies and funny little fellas on mushrooms and shit
Are worse.
eat children.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's just such a common one. They eat children. There is one, I think it's Irish. It is this one myth of, like, sprites or whatever, and they're terribly ugly, fey little creatures, and they make your life miserable. For a long time, it was believed that they could abduct your child from the womb, and then, and then take their place, so you take care of the gross evil fey goblin.
Oh, they're like a parasite?
Yeah.
Ugh.
So if someone's child was born, like, really ugly, it'd be
Aww.
like, oh, a fucking fairy took my child, get rid of this one.
That just reminds me of the fucking Meet the Spartans intro.
Yeah.
Oh, this baby is ugly. Throw it off the cliff, and you just see a pile of dead baby skeletons.
Do you think that they made that myth to deal with like kids that
Absolutely.
they don't want?
Probably.
Because it's probably, you're fucking highly superstitious, like, people, and, like, people die all the time or whatever, and, like, the idea of a child dying in the woods is less big of a deal for you, and it's like, all the people I know have, like, these lovely children, and you're born with this fucking troll, you're like, a fairy took it, I don't want it.
Justify killing a fucking...
Yeah.
How long do you think that it would take for like the rest of the world to catch up with that's not like a reasonable-ish idea and the last person to do it?
I don't know.
I feel like it would stop once modern medicine was a thing, so I'd give it to like World War One.
Like, World War One. Wow, that's very recent. But that makes me think of like the last people to do execution, because like you can't hang people anymore.
Wasn't it like Paris, 1970?
They had it surprisingly recently in like Northern America.
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it was
People in my grandmother's generation, when they were young, watched people hang.
Hang?
I think so.
Hang is still a thing in some places?
Not anymore.
Because I know there's executions, like there's still some states in America.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely places with capital punishment like that. But, it's mostly moved into different methods. But, like, I'm pretty sure the last hanging was not that long ago, grand scheme.
I know that like I think it was the 90s that they did they actually gassed somebody in like the USA. I think like that recently. And now they've moved on to the lethal injection thing.
Yeah.
But I know this because I watched one of Jacob Geller's videos recently where, like, the lethal injection, it's really messed up because the components of it stop your heart, make it, like, so that you have no muscle movement, no control, and it knocks you out. But because no real doctors want to hop in on this, they're still like kind of not. They're still like working on it.
Yeah, they're still tweaking the fucking right amount of fucking drugs.
They don't want to have like the kind of people that would do this. They aren't people that like pursued the medical field for this. So like they're just kind of having people trying to figure it out, like finding veins and stuff, and you hear about it where like some person has to get like pricked like 20 times or something, and the chemical burns from it, but like they say, oh, it always seems peaceful, but that's because they have the stuff in there to like knock you out and remove like muscle like ability, so you're just silently dying, but you're probably feeling everything.
Oh, most likely, because I'm not sure if they give you like any kind of like numbing agent or anything.
So, I looked up some statistics. This is fucked up. The last hanging in Canada was in 1962.
Huh?
The last hanging in America, 96.
Damn.
Yeah.
You want to see
fun.
You want to see the picture of the first lady ever in a electric chair?
Sure.
Oh, I've seen that image.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fucking scary.
What the fuck?
The person who took that picture, he had the camera in his like sock.
Yeah, he James Bonded it.
Yeah, that's why it's such a low image.
Yeah, I meant to have imagery.
Yeah, you're not supposed to take a picture of that. And that one got into the news because people were like, a woman in the electric chair.
Yeah, the headline for it
What
was
does she do?
just bold, dead.
Dead. Yeah, fucking... The history of executions is a wild one. Like,
wasn't it a thing? It was some kind of African country that like bought electric chairs to execute their like prisoners and stuff. Well, it turns out they didn't have any electricity, so they had to fucking bring in electricity for the electric chair.
They gotta buy a portable generator. Like, all right, who got the generator?
Can you imagine? They have to have, because like it's somebody dying, that it has to be a fairly formal event.
Yeah.
Especially in these days. And it's like, we're gathered here today to attend the life of this person, but they have the fucking of the generator beside it.
That's fucked up. That's how you know you're about to fucking die. You just hear ring.
Bro, imagine I just imagine you're in some like country. It's like, we were going to use the guillotine, but it is not functioning, so we have got an alternative, and you just hear.
Bro, I'd hate to die to a chainsaw.
Oh.
Yeah, it would be very frightening the whole way.
Oh, absolutely. Also, I looked up a fun fact. If you can't tell, I was thinking about the guillotine. The last use of the guillotine in
1971?
France, 77.
77.
77.
For a blade that falls on you.
Because it was funny because
It was really funny.
it also came around. It also came out around the same time as one of the Star Wars movies.
Oh, really? But
So that's why I remembered that.
I see.
Mm.
Because like,
That must have been the first Star Wars movie then.
Yeah, because it was I can't remember if it was like, oh, the first Star Wars movie came out while France was still using the guillotine, or it came out the same year France stopped using the guillotine.
yeah, because like, I think of guillotine, and I think like Dark Ages,
1400s, you know.
Yeah, like, I think like the last person to be executed by a guillotine is like French Revolution in the 1700s, like mid 1700s.
Yeah.
Did you
Fucking-
know
But no.
that the Iron Maiden was never actually used?
They saw a big metal sarcophagus that was in, big shape to hold a body and had like the female head on top, and they said, well, that's kind of neat, but what if there were spikes in it and we told people it was an execution thing?
It's exactly what fucking Disney did with Lemmings. They were like, we need this to be cooler.
Yeah. That fucking there's a guy I follow on YouTube and stuff. I guess he started on TikTok, but he now makes longer form stuff on YouTube. And he's an archaeology graduate, doing stuff like that. Mini Minuteman, by the way, good channel.
I think I know what guy you're talking about.
Yeah, he's like Milo. He's long blonde.
Yeah.
He makes videos about archaeology, talking about it. It's very interesting. I'm not really interested in much archaeology, but it's interesting stuff to hear about. And the prevalent thing that really comes into view is just archaeology and grave robbing was not different back in the day.
Not
And
really.
there is so many cases of just like, of just ruining things to make it more interesting, or ruining it because no one gives a shit about its value.
Yeah.
And do you guys know the conspiracy theories about the Baghdad batteries?
No. Well, you know what the fuck the Baghdad batteries
I know a
is?
couple archaeology fucked up histories, but I don't think I know that one.
So, Baghdad Battery is a conspiracy theory people still talk about. Basically, near Baghdad, they found these ceramic jars filled with something with a copper tube in the middle.
Oh.
And the conspiracy theory speculates that they were ancient world batteries, that they could actually harness electricity. And people still believe this. Yeah, it's one of those big conspiracy theories. It's probably not batteries. It's probably just a thing to hold parchments, but and keep them safe. But fucking, no one can really make too much of a correction to it, because the museum they were stored in got fucking ransacked and people stole so many exhibits, so they just don't know where the remaining batteries are. So they can't really confirm it, so the conspiracy theory keeps going.
What's the point in stealing the fucking...
Fucking cool museum things, bro. Wow, let's steal it.
This thing is like millions of years old.
In lighter news, a lot of the exhibits did get returned, but a lot still remain missing.
I just wonder what fucking unknown billionaire is gonna buy those.
There was one thing, and you might know about this one. I think this was on a Geller video once. It was a guy who was like a Fletcher or something. He made or a guy who made like lures for fishing, I think, and you can put like feathers on those as well.
Yeah.
He broke into a museum in a very planned out heist that I'm pretty sure went wrong, but he still got away through dumb luck. He stole the remaining feathers of a super rare bird that is extinct.
Oh, yeah, I did hear about that one.
That's like, okay, this man is getting old. He wants the ultimate thing for his rod. So let's go steal this extinct bird feather.
I think he was in his fucking 20s.
Really?
I think he was like mid to late 20s, maybe 30s.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I think it's because he just wanted to impress people. He's like, I need the best, most rare feather for what I'm going to do. What's rarer than an extinct bird?
Yeah.
So it is wild.
Speaking of something else wild, gentlemen, I went on a bit of a rabbit hole trip. I was, on my regular nude person websites. And I clicked on a side thing by accident.
Oh no.
And it took me to Strip Chat.
Hell yeah.
Oh no.
And I was just kind of...
I like the opposite reaction.
I was just kind of bouncing around there, and it's live streaming of people doing saucy stuff. And I was looking at just some of them, and I'm looking at the walls of donation options, and it's like, say hi, donate this much, I flash pussy, donate this much, I toss salad, or that kind of thing.
Yeah. What you'd expect.
You donate this amount of money, you can control the vibrator in her
Fart
ass.
on a cake.
Yeah. Yes, but I found, just bouncing around, I saw this one, and it was of these, it was this group of 4 people, one guy, 2 pretend students, and a teacher, female teacher, and I was just looking at it, and they're, just doing schoolwork.
Oh, no.
And then I just see some guy donated this much, and it was to turn the camera on under the table.
Oh my god, it's just a constant role play and they donate to make the plot move?
Yeah. And I started seeing more, and I was like, what the fuck?
Imagine, donating, $100 for the camera to change, and then, because, you have a 1 out of 4 chance to see some fucking puss. The first one he sees, the guy's just fucking dick out of his pants just flopping around.
Bro.
And then I was looking at the other options, and, one of them was, play with nips, and, donate this much, the entire class is naked. And it's
bad
wow.
dream mode, everyone is losing their pants.
Imagine, I feel like it's one of those situations the teacher will do something, but they still gotta try and play the act,
that is a genius tactic to have, the audience, because apparently, I don't really understand it, the whole, school setting for porn or whatever, but I, obviously it's a big thing. A lot of people like it. So, you put that scenario in and then have the viewers donate to control it?
Yeah.
That's fucking genius, except for if it's a really slow day. And they spend the whole time just fucking faking schoolwork.
I sat in and I watched, not just those ones, but, other ones of, just people, and I was starting to, just kind of figure out, how the site worked, and, You see ones where there's a girl and she's like doing stuff and there's like only 34 watchers and I'm just kind of looking at it and she's just kind of spinning around like not doing anything,
just
looking at the
waiting.
camera. And you have some guys like commenting, "Please take this off," but they aren't donating any money.
Yeah.
It's such an awkward thing to do.
It really is.
I just find it funny because, like, on my TikTok feed, I'll just see, like, porn stars. Like, they'll go to, like, the porn star, like, their equivalent of, like, of a con, of a convention of some sorts. And, like, you'll get, like, your Chatterbait people there, like, the famous people on Chatterbait. I heard a story of one of them. He was just a fucking... He straight up looks like a fucking dork, like a fucking hillbilly hippie. He's like, oh yeah, I got people pay me money, like thousands of dollars, to come on my weed plants and smoke it.
One hell of a paycheck.
The guy just has the fucking biggest smile as he's telling the story. I'm just like, man, I want the fucking money. What do I gotta do?
The things you'll do for that Chatterbait money.
What fucking niche do I gotta fucking grab hold of?
You know what? Next episode, we're gonna get the cameras on. We're gonna get the dildos in our ass. If you donate,
Our first live episode.
yeah, if you donate, then you can turn the vibrators on. We aren't doing anything else.
You know, I saw a thing recently that very much amused me. The genre of parents trying to get fucking sexy and then forgetting they have children. One I saw that was really amusing was the father is sitting on the couch and his wife is in like a bathrobe and she's basically starting up a lap dance. All that stuff, and she like breaks it down, kind of squats down, and then her child just walks into frame, and without missing a beat, she puts her hands on the floor and starts hopping around like a frog. And the kid gets with the program. Kid's like, yeah, Froggy. He starts doing it too, and they're hopping around. You can just see the dad sitting there like on the couch, sitting there like, God damn it, what's going on? And then eventually he gets down and starts hopping around too. But it's really funny.
Children ruin everything.
Truly.
The root problem of sexy time.
Yeah, the result.
I kind of feel bad for the kids who their parents are porn stars.
Yeah.
I mean, if they're like popping off and they're rich and you're super rich because of it, I could feel like
there's
I could
there's
look
that
past it.
there's the pros and cons, but at the same time, like especially like when recent porn star Lana Rhoades was pregnant, all the fucking memes of like, oh, this is how the baby's gonna fucking, how easy the baby's gonna come out, and it's just a man in front of like a fucking giant ship exhaust.
I feel like enough time would probably pass that like you wouldn't hear about it as much, and like just time would pass and it wouldn't be as much of a problem when the kid gets older. But like I can imagine like in like that first time in like public school, like maybe I want to say 10. I feel like other kids would figure out at 10 or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, here, I found a picture of your mom's asshole.
Yeah.
And then they would show that to all of their other friends, and then it'd be like, guys, can you imagine being that poor teacher that it's like, I really hoped I wouldn't have to address this.
I didn't want to make this video. Like, man, being a teacher dealing with young kids was difficult when we were young, but it's probably only gotten worse.
Yeah, especially like fucking all the tablet kids these days. Imagine that.
I don't want to, honestly.
Like, I know we were bad, but at least, like, the teacher had a potential break when we went out for recess, and we can come back in exhausted. The kids nowadays don't want to go outside at all.
I wonder if they're more or less behaved in general.
I doubt it.
I wonder if it'll get to the point that they need to get a second tablet for each kid so they can watch Cocomelon on the other one.
While they're fucking working on their work, they just have the second tablet of like fucking Subway Surfer so they can pay attention.
Just create a new generation of multitaskers, but one task is always useless.
I don't know. I feel like they could. I feel like a lot of those like tablet kids, their brains are going to be fried.
Perhaps.
This might also just be like old person.
Well, look at our
process.
brains, and we grew up with the internet. Now
I'm fried for a different reason.
Yeah. Mine's the drug abuse.
Mine is the internet abuse.
No, I mean, I don't know. I don't care much for going outside in general, but I don't feel like I'm that bad.
I'd like to go outside if I had a reason.
I just have a low social patience. I can't deal with people. Because interaction is hard.
I don't mind dealing with people.
I don't mind it either until I feel like they start minding me. Because, man, I can sit here thinking, like, I'm okay at talking to people. I can talk to people. I talked to a man in Walmart once, and then, like, I go to a work function with people who I genuinely work with through the day and talk to on the daily, and, like, I sit in front of them like, hey. And then, like, nothing happens, nothing is said. Like, I am I am awful socially.
I'm pretty good at engaging with conversation with all of my co-workers. It's just I feel like I might also be one of those people that says too much.
I don't know. All I do know is like if I'm staying in a new environment, I do try to at least make a couple friends in that new environment.
I mean, obviously, if I see myself being in an environment, I'm gonna try to some extent.
Yeah.
But you know, I haven't switched environments for so fucking long, bro.
Yeah, because like every like job or like intern thing for like co-op you've had has all been work from home.
Yeah, it's all remote. I work completely remotely. Fucking, I stay home because I haven't moved in years. But yeah, it is amusing though. I talked to one of the guys I worked with before. Now that I've changed jobs more than I did when I originally worked with him.
It is funny how that sometimes happens. I tend to make really good friends with people after they leave the place that I work at.
Well, it's because you're no longer workers, you're actually like just friends.
Yeah, just dudes, bro.
Truly.
Just some freaking duderinos.
What time are we at?
We're at 53.
53?
Also, why are you surprised by the school setting? When Eric was talking about his fucking chatterbait thing.
What do you mean?
Like, why are you shocked by, like, the school setting or, like, the school scenario?
Well, I'm not shocked by it. I'm just saying
Or you don't
like,
understand it.
I mean, I get it on the most basic level of, like, oh, everyone's had an experience with, like, a fucking hot teacher or whatever. But, like, I don't understand when people are this really fascination with that environment.
I feel like a lot of it might come from this is an environment where there's a lot of people. So, like, you get this group kind of thing.
It's fucking exhibition.
You get a bit of a variety of, like, you know, it's like, ooh, she's cute, but she's also cute. You're looking at the different teachers.
I see. Okay. In that style of media, we'll call it, what is the weird, like, situational genre that you understand the least?
I don't know. I got a pretty firm grasp on a lot of things. One of them being my penis while I watch them.
I found out something pretty funny.
Oh, no.
There's this, I don't know the technical term of it, but I heard it called the Reaper's Grip. It's when you fucking grab your wiener so hard when you're beating your meat.
My weenie peenie?
You no longer can actually feel satisfied from having sex.
Really?
Because like your wiener is so used to the fucking vice
The
grip
grip.
you have on it. But yeah, I found that out. That's an actual, like, a genuine thing that actually happens with some people.
That is an interesting thing. I mean, the idea of desensitization, like, that's an idea that's been going around forever, so I figured that much, but I guess it makes sense. Like, yeah, don't fucking gorilla grip.
You need to find Gorilla Grip, not
Not me! I am my own gorilla. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
You find woman with loose vagina, throw her out the window. Fine, I'll do it myself.
That's the problem.
But one that I understand the least. Like, could I have, like, an example? Like, how broad are we getting?
So long as it's not something where it's like only one video of this would ever exist, you know? Like, because you've got like school, or you've got like fucking, I don't know, office, like maybe a bathhouse or something, massage parlor. Just these normal situations that are pretty much removed from sexuality, that people just make this content about. Be like, what if you were in place and did the hanky pank?
In-law orgies. Like, stuff that's related. Like, people are, like, related but not by blood.
Step-sibling stuff?
Yeah. The incests play.
I'm not super big on that stuff.
Step bro, I'm stuck in the dryer.
Like, I know that, like, most of these plots and everything exist only to, like, move forward a air quotes story.
Yeah.
But, like, I feel like nowadays, because, like, you know why those stories and things, they had to be there. It was because there were laws, like, preventing people from making porn. But if you had a story with it, then it made it technically a movie, and then you could shoot it and still, like, have it be what it is. But I feel like now we can move away from that, and you can just say, these two are fucking.
They haven't shanked.
I was never too big on, like, any kind of story beat like that.
You know what? Mine would be Fake Taxi.
You don't like Fake Taxi?
I've always found it funny. Because when I first started watching Fake Taxi, because, like, okay, these girls
back in the day.
These girls are average. Like, you don't really think that they're just a random, like, porn star that they grab from a list and, like, put it in the car. But then it started to go a little fucking crazy with some of the ladies, and I was like, you could tell this is just fucking fake. Like, there's no passion, there's no heart in it.
They lost the soul of Fake Taxi.
This is just some fucking old geezer.
As an avid taxi user, I feel this does not represent my fantasy.
That's also just another thing. Like, it was always some
You
old
made my
geezer.
tit fall out. Shut up, or I'll come back there and I'll slap your tit.
Exactly.
I know that quote.
I also just found it really funny. It was always an old man or this, like, really ripped guy.
The buff taxi driver.
And they would always blur their faces. But everyone knew who they were.
Yeah.
It is a very strange genre. But apparently it has notoriety.
Well, because the fucking Bang Bus came out. That was inspired from fucking Fake Taxi.
I see.
I wasn't really too big on the whole in-vehicle things either.
It's a cramped position to do anything in.
Yeah, you can only get so many good camera angles.
Yeah.
Just all four corners?
Yeah, pretty much.
But what about you, Kyle?
Well, I explained the school one. I don't really get that one. The other one I really don't like is, like, My Younger Neighbor. Have you ever seen that genre? It's always like...
The Girl Next Door.
Yeah, it's always like there's some, like, middle-aged dude, and then there's a woman who's obviously of age, because she's a porn actress. But she's, like, pretending to act, like, way younger. And so I always just remember one that was like it was like the dude wearing his fucking polo shirt and everything. He looks like some dude's dad, and there's like this woman who clearly is not that much younger than him, and she's wearing like fucking rainbow thigh highs and like
Twin
awful
tails.
pigtails, yeah. And she's like, thank you for getting my ball, mister. And she's got a ball, and she starts talking about liking
I got
balls.
fucking 2 balls for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm sitting here
That's
like,
one.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't understand.
Freaks me out. Well, okay. I don't want to come out and just say it, but I think a lot of people have a thing for kids.
Probably
'cause
they
that's
have something about.
Pigtails, squirrel girl outfits, they're popular. And I think it's popular for that reason.
Probably.
Make
Honestly,
or
I feel
at the
like
very
it wouldn't
least make
satisfy
them seem
anyone,
younger.
But, you know.
Like,
But I don't much care for that.
Yeah.
However,
not big on it.
I do love ridiculous parodies and lemon whores.
Yeah,
The
lemon
lemon
ceiling
ceiling
Like,
whores.
say what you want, like, because the thing is, I know what I'm there for. Everyone knows what they're there for. Plots are dumb and stupid. I like it when people make it really funny.
Yeah.
Have you seen the Lord of the Rings parody one, where the dude's dick glows?
No, I have not.
It's this woman. They're in like the living room, and woman's like, "Why don't you whip out that dick?" And he's like, "Yeah, yeah." He unzips, and you just see a glow, a
Evil is
blue glow,
nearby.
and she's like, "Why is it glowing?" He's like, "It only glows when orcs are nearby." And the woman just rips off her face. She's an orc, and she's like, "Give me that dick!" Ah.
You know what he should have said instead? When whores are nearby.
That would be great. Although I feel like that would only happen in like a proper Lord of the Rings parody. Like you've got like a really poorly, like it's not even like any film technique. It's just a dude on his knees with shoes on his knees to be a hobbit. And he's like, and they're talking. It's like some woman's like, "Oh, what sword do you got?" He's like, "Zip, I've got Sting. It glows when whores are nearby."
That just like fucking reminds you of like the SpongeBob or like
Oh.
the Roger American Dad parodies.
There's
Just-
also the Meme Lord parody. Do you remember that one where everybody was dressed up like Bane?
Yeah. One guy whips out his dick and it's got a little Bane mask.
But you were saying, Tyler?
I feel bad for the SpongeBob one. Because, like, he's in a genuine SpongeBob outfit. His arms are like this. His face is just poorly painted yellow.
And like the actor who's playing air quotes Sandy Cheeks is just a person.
And it's fucking, you just see a hole where his crotch is. There's fucking dingleberries just fucking hanging
Look,
out.
man, the things people do for their paycheck, you gotta get that bread, but
I mean,
man.
the worst of it was that he had to stand in a box and get sucked up.
And he had to do like a bad SpongeBob voice.
Especially the Roger one I saw of the American Dad thing, where it was just a guy in a gray suit with like an Ayla Mao mask on. He's just fucking hunched over like that.
I like some of the horror ones where like it's just the main character fucking a monster or like a lady dressed up as a monster. I always really like those ones. They're funny.
They're inherently extra funny, and I like that. I just think it's super amusing when people do things. When Metal Gear Solid 5 came out, they released a porn parody of that because Quiet was really big at the time, and it's
Yeah.
really easy to do a cosplay of Quiet. You just wear little clothes.
Nothing.
Yeah. And the guy playing Big Boss, because he had a metal hand in that one, so he just had like this half gauntlet of like an Iron Man hand. And you can clearly see like at a point he'll like hold her legs and you can just see his hand.
You can see the fucking repulsor lighting up.
And like the whole time, because it's like they were just in the desert doing whatever, and just randomly he'll quip in like, "My snake is so solid right now."
Have you guys ever tried to like look up something specific or something that you remembered and like usually you can't
Like
find it?
you know of something but you forget how to find it, so you just trying to find it.
Yeah, and then you find something like really funny out of it, or something like that. But I was trying to, because there's been memes going around about like who would win in the oiled up twerk off, and I was like, are these actually like going on? Are there like
I've
oiled up
seen
twerk offs?
so many of those on fucking TikTok. Like,
yeah, you go.
like I've seen a lot of things on TikTok. Like, oh, get me to 100K followers. I'll draw like oiled up guts.
Oh no.
But it's just been a series of that. But go on.
But I was on the old P hubs, and I was looking up oiled up twerk off, and I couldn't really find anything other than like regular just like one person twerking. But the first result that was there was She-Hulk twerking, and it was just a lady twerking that painted herself green.
Bad costumes is just so amazing. I love them. I love it when it's like I'm an orc and they just badly paint themselves green and have like fake tusks or whatever. Fucking I'm the Hulk and it's just a guy wearing poorly fitted shorts and he's badly green.
That's why you just, you know what you do? You go to the good old P Hub and you go to the funny section.
Yeah, I don't know. I also can't help but feel like those people enjoy themselves too. They probably just realize how dumb it is.
I feel like they're reading the script for it and they just have to just fall in love with it. Like, this is something I'm about to do. I'm about to fucking go into a box, paint my face yellow, and talk like SpongeBob.
Talk like Spank.
I gotta take the piss out of this.
Do you guys ever think you could be porn stars?
Not really.
I've thought about it. I thought it'd be funny.
I've thought about it too.
It would be amusing to be like the guy who just appears and you're never important. You're just the faceless one.
You're the faceless dick.
Yeah, but you always take like the funny roles. You're like the Johnny Sins.
I've thought about that. Like, oh yeah, I'll be like the faceless camera guy. But like you can't even see my dick because my stomach. So you just see my stomach going up and down.
That would be like so funny. Where like she's giving the eyes to the camera and she looks down and she's like, "Could you?" And it's like, "Oh, sorry." And then you lift up.
Like she just going down. You're like, "Oh yeah." And then like your hand slip like, "Oh," and you just hear.
The fucking slapping sound you hear is not me fucking them. It's just my stomach hitting there.
Instead of the upward looking down arc, you have to like hold the camera behind her head.
Oh no.
Well, because I realized there's not many fat porn stars, at least on the guy side.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be something out there, but you probably got to go fairly niche for that.
But I just thought it'd be funny to be that man, to revolutionize that category.
You know, that's one thing. You don't see a lot of BBWs going at it. Like, fat man, fat lady.
No.
It's like a unicorn.
Yeah.
Yeah, a really fat unicorn having sex.
When it comes to the BBW or even their fucking new SS BBW category.
Ooh.
What is SS BBW?
The fucking
supersized.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
the big ones, the ones, the whales. But it's always either a twink, like some fucking skinny ass dude, or a black man.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't give you a solid input on that. Like, sure, it's a unicorn, but, you know, I'm glad this unicorn doesn't exist, thanks. Like, you know, I have a tolerance, and it has been exceeded.
Yeah. I've just never seen it. I don't think I've ever seen it.
No,
You know, I've never seen it either, but I ain't looking.
Yeah. I'm not a super... sorry. I'm not a super big fan of the whole BBW movement.
Yeah, no.
Listen.
Everybody's allowed to have their preferences and everything. It's just not one of mine.
I love me a BBW.
I
don't like me no SS BBW.
I mean, that's the weird thing. I hang around art circles, so I see fucking people draw all kinds of things, even when I'm not looking for anything sexual or whatever.
Some 2D BBWs do got me thinking, though. I will admit that.
Fucking, I don't get it.
Artists?
It has become such an insane fad. I've said it before. Like, hyper has become the normal.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, that's not possible. And I'm like, oh, well, show me what you think normal is. And they post, like, what would be considered BBW. And I'm like, that is excessive. Like, you post anyone with even, like, decent proportionality, and they're like, bigger.
Make it larger.
I never understood the whole BBW art. I always found
they're just slipping into inflation slowly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like either
I've seen it happen. I've seen someone descend that level. I've seen them go from like I do not I don't get it. I like normal things. Stop being so weird. Be normal. Then he slipped into being really gay. He slipped into liking a lot of Fuda.
Yeah.
And then it just progressed into fat, and then it became inflation, and then it became vor.
Because it's the new thing. I need more.
I just don't get it.
I just don't like how their idea is like a BBW anime character is like, oh, they got a little bit of tummy and massive fucking tits.
It is a wild wasteland out there.
I love it.
I like maybe a BBW.
I love it.
I don't like fat chicks. I love them.
So much to love. Well, do we have any other topics kicking around?
On the topic of drawing large proportions of things, I when I draw boobs, I normally draw them like, I don't know. I feel like they're decently proportioned. But I drew my first big pair recently.
Was it the one you sent me?
Yes.
He sends it to me on Discord. I'm like trying to fucking figure out how to like it to show Eric if I've seen it. Like I acknowledge this. I couldn't find the heart. But I saw there was an actual picture of a human heart. So I was like, it would be funny if I just sent that. But then I just backed out of it and never responded.
I should say too, I talk to you guys in the most of just... I look at some of the things I say to you guys to get your attention to ask for video games, and it just makes no sense to me like the next day.
The vast majority of things you say when you're inviting us to something, it is genuinely unparsable. It means nothing. Like...
The only indicator that this motherfucker wants to play games is he'll give the time.
Yeah, he will say something that has the vague notion of action, and then he will drop a time and a question mark, and I'll say sure. Like, this man, like, fucking skim bibbly shit on the president at 5:30, and I'm like, yeah, sure, man. And that means fucking come online, play some video games. At one point... I was playing. I was doing some things with some people, and he sends something, and I'm trying to remember. Fuck Sly Cooper's cousin 5:30, or something like that. Sly Cooper incest. And I didn't respond because I was busy at the time. I was waiting for an opportunity and kind of forgot, but I would have responded, whatever. And then eventually he's just like, sorry, I read over that and realized it means nothing. Would you like to play a game at 5:30?
Yeah, a moment of self-awareness.
And I'm like, yeah, sure, man. I understood what you meant, but I did look at it and I'm like, I wonder if Sly Cooper is code for anything.
Well, he sent me, when we last played Elden Ring, mixels the ingredients under the sink to make the ultimate soup tomorrow at 5:30.
Yeah, that's a really good one. Sometimes he says things like, down for game. But...
This is like the most tame one. Like, down for games at 5:30 if you got it working.
Also, when we acknowledge things, he'll do, like, his own acknowledgement to acknowledge that he saw us acknowledge, and those are always complete gibberish. One he sent me is Shemnarat.
Shemnarat.
You'll say your and your borb. I also kind of do this, except I don't know. I don't do it very often, but I'll sometimes just be like schlurb or yer.
I do try to get on Eric's wavelength sometimes when I'm responding. But then, like, after the second message, I just question my whole life.
I do the same thing too when I'm internet e-transferring Kyle when we order Uber.
Yeah.
What, do you just put in the most, like, vile messages for the fucking e-transfer?
Not necessarily messages, just the bank things, and I'll send him the actual answer to it.
Yeah, because it has a security
question.
question.
Oh, the security question.
And then, the answer. And when I e-transfer with my mom, it's always like, oh, what movie did we last watch, or whatever, what's the show we're watching, and I know the answer. But with Eric, he just writes something fucking nutty, and then just says, whatever is the key, or the riches can be yours with this, or something. And then I'll look at the, like, one he's like, your is the answer with like 3 R's, and I'm like, okay. I look at the question, it's like fat titty bitches with big schmeatus. And the answer is your.
Do you just never think, like, your bank questions this?
I don't care if they do. It's my money.
They sure can't fucking parse it, that's for sure. Yeah, fucking Down to Conquer Blood Zone at 5. Elder Bong Explore Poop Realm.
I have the same one. Elder Bong at 3, Explore the Poop Realm.
We play game tiles going in the middle. Fuck gay nights. The things you say are insanity. I come round 550. But yeah, you're a little bit of a nutty boy.
And I would just like to say on record, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to stop.
I don't think you're sorry.
That's fine.
They're funny.
That is perfectly fine. But speaking of such, explore Poop Realm Bong Bing Bong MD cast right now. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Bing yong.
Bing jing chilling. King bing ding 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 ding.
Mama
Go 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 go. Mama